Hi, Sandra here. Welcome to Create in Spain, and today I'm doing a slightly different video to my usual things. I'm actually going to do a watercoloured panel for the front of a card. So I have here some Inktense pencils. I'm not sponsored by anybody, I just happen to like them. And they're convenient when you're travelling, if you want something to take with you on holiday. It's a convenient way of taking watercolour without having a lot of equipment. I have a Pentel Aquash paintbrush, dear oh dear. It's just a paintbrush that has water in the handle basically. And that makes it, again, very easy to use with these. And what I'm going to use today are a couple of metallic pens. They're the ones with the very fine nibs. If I can get the cap off, so you can see that's pretty fine. And I'm just going to use these to make a design, and then I'm going to colour it in. So here we go. What I'm going to do is just zoom in a bit more, so hopefully you can see. I'm just going to have to move things a little bit, so that hopefully you can see what I'm doing a bit more easily. Let's try zooming in a bit more. Oops. I've got to try and look at this through the viewfinder, so I've got to stand up to look at this, and then I can sit down and start working. Okay, I think that'll do nicely. I think you can see what I'm up to. Right, I've got some watercolour paper on my mat here, and I've stuck it down mainly because I've got a fan overhead. And I know what things are like when there's a fan overhead. Things tend to go flying around the place a bit too much. One thing I did with my watercolour, they're not watercolours actually, they're ink pencils. They do watercolour pencils, these are ink pencils basically, Inktense, clues in the name you see. I did do a colour swatch when I first got them, and I just put some plastic over the top to protect it. So it gives me an idea of what colour I'm picking up, so it's quite handy. Now these two pens I think came from either Aldi or Lidl. They're pretty standard, you can find them in most places, and they are most probably alcohol based. Yeah, I think so. And it really doesn't make too much difference which one I use. Now I'm going to start off with the gold one, because my watercolour paper is slightly yellowy. If I take some white card and put it against that, you can see slightly yellowy. So I decided I will start off on this one. And the good thing is you can just doodle. You don't have to have anything in particular in mind. You can just doodle away to your heart's content. And I can assure you that, you'd have to be pretty bad at holding a pen not to be able to do something this simple. Okay, it is not going to be complicated at all. I'm going to put a little centre in that particular flower. Now the thing with flowers is you can really let your imagination run riot. You can do what you like, because you can almost bank on whatever you can draw. There's probably a flower that matches it somewhere. You may not know what it's called, but there's probably one that matches somewhere in the world. Whatever. And don't forget that although flowers may need a nice straight stem to stand upright, artistically straight stems don't look that good. So I don't tend to use them too much. And you don't want to do the same thing all over, and you don't want to make it symmetrical. You want slight differences. So I'm going to do a different sort of thing on this side. This one I'm going to do a side-on type flower. And so that one's going to come out there. And this one's going to have a different leaf. I think I'll give it a jaggedy leaf. There we are. And I think I'll give it another one there as well. Why not? Okay. And I think next to that I want something that's going up like this. And it's a mass of little buds, or in this particular case, tiny little circles, not drawn perfectly. Doesn't matter if they look more like sixes or something, doesn't make any difference. Okay, you don't have to worry about it. It will be fine. I'm going to put in some basic leaf shapes, I think, and some grass, and some more flowers. You can do all sorts of things. Just have fun. Don't worry about it. You know, it's not supposed to be rocket science. It's not serious. You don't have to get things accurate. Really doesn't matter. So you can do some sort of daisy-like things. And you can do more of these little bud type things. I'm not quite sure what it is that I'm thinking of when I'm doing these. I've got a plant in mind, I just don't know what it is. Okay, and these I'm just going to put a couple of little sort of marks in. And what else do I fancy doing? What else do I fancy doing? You can get some very sort of low-lying, sort of ground covery type flowers that are nothing much in particular. And you can get flowers that are slightly heart-shaped for the petals. And I'm just going to have that one going around that way, I think. Give it that sort of leaf. But basically you just want lots of them. Doesn't have to be. Actually, I've got an idea for that one. I'm going to do that. Make that one into a different sort of thing. There we go. And this one's got a huge leaf. Why not? It's got a really, really big leaf to it. And it's going to go up in between these, like so. And I think we need some more grassy sort of stuff there, so we just have some more scribbly stuff. We want some more just sort of general ground cover. Yeah, that's looking not bad. That's not looking bad at all. And I'll put a little flower or two down here. There we go. Some more down here. My little scribble flowers, you know, I'm not worrying about this. It's nothing too drastic. So there we go. That is the start. Okay. I didn't use my silver pencil, as happens. Or a silver pen. Maybe I'll use it later. Never know. Okay, so now for the colouring bit. And this is where you can have some fun. Take a couple of pencils of the type or the colour that you think you fancy, and just on the mat just put down a couple of swatches. Don't worry if you can't see it too much, it doesn't make much difference. Take your brush, which if you're using a normal brush, you just dip it in some water and wipe it against the edge of a surface, and then you can start dropping in colour wherever you want. And the great thing about the Inktense is they are really vibrant colours. With a relatively little effort, you can add lots of colour to this. Okay, if you want to change colour, either dip your brush in water, or in the case of an aquash, just press it and put it onto a cloth or a paper towel or something, and then you can pick up another colour and add in. Now that particular colour is way too yellow, but I will adjust that later. This is just playtime, okay? It's nothing serious. If you like doing things like Zentangles and things like that, you could make cards out of those. And they can look really, really lovely. And all Zentangles are sort of geometric squiggles and things, all shapes put together. So I'm just plopping in this yellow, this basic yellow, yellowy green. Put some more down. That's quite a, I think it's actually a lime green. I can see it. Oh, sherbet lemon it's called, apparently. This one. If there's any water on your mat, the colour will be picked up quicker and you'll get a nice strong colour. There we go. La, da, da. And oh, I've got a leaf there that I haven't plopped any colour into. I got colour in all my leaves. Yeah, I have. All my leaves have got some colour. And I'm gonna go for a dark green, I think. The other thing you can do with these things is you can literally dip them in the water and then scribble on your mat to get the colour off of them. As I say, it's so convenient. You know, if you've got a small thing that you want to do, you know, there's absolutely no need to get a paint palette out if you've got this sort of thing on hand. I mean, quite often, you know, I'll get out watercolour palettes and I'll paint larger things. But for small things like this is so easy and there's no cleaning up to do. It's great. And basically, you know, anyone can do this. You don't have to have real artistic ability. It's just playing, doodling. Okay. Doesn't have to be at all accurate. You don't have to worry about light and shade. Oh, forget that. You know, this is just a card. Now you've got to decide what colour you fancy for things like the flowers. And I'm going to start off, I think, with this one, which is fuchsia. Now, it's not going to show up very much on my red mat, is it? But, you know, I know what I'm playing with, so it's all right. And I'm going to use the fuchsia, which is a nice sort of raspberry pinky colour, I guess. And I'm just going to dab it in the general area of these petals. I'm not colouring them in, I'm just dabbing it in the direction of. Okay, it's just a little bit of colour over the top. Nothing accurate at all, okay? We're not doing accuracy here. And let me see, what shall I add to that? I think I'm going to add a touch of this one, a bit of darker colour. And this one is violet. Oh yeah, that's dark. And pick that up. And I'm going to add just a few little spots of the violet in there so that it's not all one colour. There we are. I think I'm going to use some blue next. I'm just going to dip my pencil in and scribble. See, it's so quick. And I'm going to start on this one here. I'm going to put that in with blue. Just wipe that off, and then I'm going to put a little bit of indigo in while it's still damp. Add the other colour in the centre. Now my next one I'm going to do with the blue, like so. There we go. Take the indigo and I'm going to put that going from the outside to the inside, because you get a different effect altogether then. There we go. And what am I going to do next? I think I'm going to see if I've got a red. Have I got a red? That looks like it's red. And I'm going to do this one here. Oh yeah, a nice bit of red. There we go. Not too bright because I don't want it too bright. I'm going to put a little bit of the indigo in around the centre. There we are. And these look a bit, I don't know, is it lupins? I'm not a gardener, not by any stretch of the imagination. I haven't got the slightest idea. I so bad at flowers. I'm very, very bad at flowers. Okay, I think they're going to be blue. And again, not being too fussy about, you know, making sure it's all within the lines, you know, just roughly. That's it. I think again I want a bit of that indigo, and I'm going to put that on the bottom part of it. There we are, like so. And what have we got next? I think I'm going to have a bit of the red for this one, just because we've got less red in there than we have of the other colours. And I'm also going to put a little bit of red down here. I like to balance the colours a little bit. Don't have to be sort of too fussy about it, but to balance them is quite nice. So that if you've got one over one side, you have a little bit of it on the other side. So that said, I think this flower here is going to be blue with a little bit of the indigo at the base. And I need a bit of the yellow with that for that. Pick up a bit of the blue to turn it green. There we go. And I haven't got any orange, so I think I'm going to put some orange in somewhere. Now my board here is getting a little bit messy with all the different colours. So just take a wipe. There we go. That's not difficult clean up, is it? And get some orange on here. So I'm going to put the orange down there. Another bit of orange. There. And then I think I want something sort of pinky. So I'm going to go for this one, which is like the raspberry pink. I forget what it was called, fuchsia or something like that. I'm just going to test it on my paper strip here. Yep, that'll do nicely. And with this, I am just going to add a little bit of colour. I'm not colouring it in completely, I'm just dabbing it. And adding some darker bits into parts of it. There we are. And I want a little bit of a darker green, I think. Just going to test the colour out. Yeah, that's fine. And I want to put a little bit just around the base, just so it looks like there's something grounding these, and you can have it going in between some of the flowers as well. Just dab. And then if you want to, you can add a bit of a darker colour into that. That's more of an olivey green. And just add some little touches of darker colour, a bit darker into that leaf there. And some darker shade to that, because it's a bit too yellow. And the important thing is with watercolours, with any painting, is knowing when to finish. And I'm done. And that's it. I will trim that down to the size that I need for my card. It started off pretty much the right size, as you can see, but I've got a little bit of trimming to be done either side of it, and I'll add a sentiment and that'll be it. Okay, thanks for watching. Take care. Bye bye.